welcome to the channel. In this video is my Premier League predictions game week 6. Game week 5 was an interesting weekend full of dramatic results. Imagine Manchester United grinding out a 2-1 victory over Chelsea. In that game, Chelsea had a red card, Manchester United had a red card. It was 10 against 10. I mean, it was like a Netflix movie full of suspense, and well, it is what it is. In game week 5, Aston also managed to get a 1-1 draw against Manchester City at the Emirates Stadium, and Liverpool also got a 2-1 victory over Everton in the Merseyside derby. So far so good, 5 games into the season, Liverpool is the only team with 100% record, 5 out of 5, 15 points out of 15 points, and it's so impressive getting to know that the Premier League champions this season also stands favorite. Looking at even the Premier League table right now, they are 5 points clear on top of the Premier League table, as Arsenal is also second on the table with 10 points, and it is what it is. If you're new, my name is Andy Fine, and welcome to the channel. Like this video, comment your thoughts, comment where you are watching me from, because I'm interested and I really want to know wherever you are watching me from. Without wasting much of your time, let's get started with the Game Week 6 predictions. Starting off the Game Week 6 predictions at the GTEC Community Stadium in early kickoff is between Brentford versus Manchester United. This is going to be a very interesting game for Manchester United, Ruben Amorim. So far so good since he took over Manchester United. If he wins this game against Brentford, it means he has done something that he has never did before. It means he has won 2 games in a row, and it's very shocking to believe that this is something Manchester United fans are happy with, and it is what it is. Brentford in game 5 lost 3-1 against Fulham. Looking at Brentford on the Premier League table, now they are 17th on the Premier League table with just 4 points out of 5 games. And talking about Manchester United too, now they are 11th on the Premier League table with 7 points out of 5 games. In game 5, Manchester United got a 2-1 victory and Brentford lost 3-1 against Fulham. So going into this game in game 6, what is my score prediction? Well, I'm predicting this game to end in a draw. My prediction is Brentford 2, Manchester United 2. Oh yes, moving on to the next game at the Stamford Bridge Stadium is between Chelsea versus Brighton. Well, this is going to be a very difficult game coming up in game week 6. Chelsea hosting Brighton. Talking about Chelsea, so far so good. 5 games into the season, Chelsea have 8 points and they are now 6th on the Premier League table with just 8 points out of 5 games. Talking about Brighton, they also have 5 points out of 5 games and they are now 14th on the Premier League table going into this game in game week 6 against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. In game week 5, Manchester United beat Chelsea by 2-1, where Brighton also drew 2-2 against Tottenham Hotspur in game week 5. Going into this game in game week 6, what is my score prediction? Well, I'm predicting Chelsea to get a 2-0 victory over Brighton in game week 6. Chelsea 2, Brighton 0. Moving on to the next game at the Selhurst Park is between Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. So far so good. These are the only 2 teams who are unbeaten as it stands in game week 5. It's only Crystal Palace and Liverpool. And talking about these 2 teams, Crystal Palace so far so good, 5 games into the season, they have 9 points and they are 5th on the Premier League table. Talking about Liverpool, to Liverpool right now, they are the only team with 100% record. They've won 5 out of 5 and now they have 15 points out of 15 points. And now they are on top of the Premier League table. Going into this game in game week 6 at the Selhurst Park, which is a very difficult ground. Last season, despite Liverpool managed to get a 1-0 victory over Crystal Palace. Could this same thing happen? Because this season it seems Liverpool are grinding results so far so good. It hasn't been bad. 5 out of 5, and well, the last time Liverpool drew or dropped point was against Crystal Palace in the Community Shield, where that game ended in a draw and they went for penalties, and Crystal Palace end up winning the Community Shield. And going into this game, what could be the possible outcome? Could this be the point where Liverpool drop points? Because looking at how things are going, I think if there is a team who can stop Liverpool from winning 6 out of 6, then it's no other than Crystal Palace. So far in game 5, Crystal Palace got a 2-1 victory and Liverpool also got a 2-1 victory over Everton. So both teams had wins in their game 5 results. So going into this game in game 6, what is my score prediction? Well, I'm predicting Liverpool to get a narrow victory over Crystal Palace. My prediction is Liverpool 2, Crystal Palace 1. Yes, moving on to the next game at the Elland Road is between Leeds United versus AFC Bournemouth. This is going to be one of the interesting games coming up in game week 6. Leeds United will be hosting Bournemouth at Elland Road. Well, talking about Leeds United in game week 5, Leeds United managed to get a 3-1 victory over Wolves in game week 5, where AFC Bournemouth also got a 0-0 draw in game week 5. So looking at both teams on the league table, right now Leeds United is 12th on the Premier League table with 7 points out of 5 games. Talking about AFC Bournemouth, so far so good, 10 points out of 5 games, and now AFC Bournemouth is 4th on the Premier League table. It's so interesting to know this fact. And talking about Leeds United, new promoted side who is trying their possible best to survive this season, I think this is going to be a very difficult game for AFC Bournemouth, and I think they have enough quality to get a result against this new promoted side, Leeds United. So what is my score predictions going into this game in game week 6? I'm predicting AFC Bournemouth to get a 2-1 victory over Leeds United. Leeds United 1, AFC Bournemouth 2. Moving on to the next game at the Etihad Stadium is between Manchester City versus Burnley. So far so good, 5 games into the season, and well, Manchester City is now 9th on the Premier League table with just 7 points out of 5 games. I know, you know, Manchester City and Pep Guardiola, this is not a good start for them, but well, I think in game 5 they managed to get a 1-1 draw at the Emirates Stadium against Arsenal. And talking about Burnley too, in game 5 also got a 1-1 draw against Nottingham Forest. So far 5 games into the season, and Burnley have 4 points and they are now 16th on the Premier League table, going into this game against 9th on the Premier League table at the Etihad Stadium. What is my score predictions going into this game? Well, I'm predicting a straight win for Manchester City. What is my prediction? I'm predicting Manchester City 3, Burnley 0. Yes, moving on to the next game at the City Ground is between Nottingham Forest versus Sunderland. This is one of the crucial games coming up in game 6. Nottingham Forest will be hosting Sunderland at the City Ground. And well, going into this game, Nottingham Forest is coming from a 1-1 draw in game 5, where Sunderland too is coming from a 1-1 draw against Aston Villa in game 5. Looking at both teams on the Premier League table right now, talking about Sunderland, they are now 8th on the Premier League table with 8 points out of 5 games. Talking about Nottingham Forest, they are also 15th on the Premier League table with 5 points out of 5 games. And well, despite last season, they did really well and finished on the better side of the league table. This time around, they've not had a good start and they've even sacked their manager. Right now, they brought in Postecoglou to take over. Since he joined, he has played 2 games. He played against Arsenal, and the last game too, he drew 1-1. So this is going to be his 3rd game. Could he get his first win of the season? Well, probably yes, because going into this game, Sunderland is a new promoted side, and so far so good. with all the new promoted teams that came this season, Sunderland is the only team that I personally think they are going to survive because they really had a very good start. 8 points out of 5 games for a new promoted side is something good to talk about. What is my score prediction? Nottingham Forest hosting Sunderland at the City Ground in game 6. My prediction for this game, I'm predicting Nottingham Forest to get their first win under Postecoglou, and my prediction is a 2-0 victory for Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest 2, Sunderland 0. Yes, moving on to the next game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is between Tottenham Hotspur versus Wolves. So far so good. 5 games into the season, and talking about Tottenham Hotspur, they are now 10th on the Premier League table with 10 points out of 5 games. So far so good with Thomas Frank as head coach for Tottenham Hotspur. They had a very good start. In game 5, they got a 2-2 draw at the Amex Stadium against Brighton. And talking about Wolves, in game 5 also lost 3-1 at home, and it's very shocking to say that so far 5 games into the season, and Wolves hasn't even gotten a single point out of all these 5 games. Going into this game against Tottenham Hotspur, do I think Wolves will prove a point or get their first win against Tottenham Hotspur? Well, nothing is impossible, but well, this one looks more impossible than everything. And going into this game, I'm predicting a straight win for Tottenham Hotspur. What is my score prediction? I'm predicting Tottenham Hotspur for Wolves 0. Moving on to the next game at the Villa Park is between Aston Villa versus Fulham. This game coming up in game 6 is going to be a very interesting game. You got to know that so far 5 games into the season, and almighty Aston Villa still have only 3 points out of 5 games, and now they are 18th on the Premier League table. This is unusual. This is not the Aston Villa that we knew last season, who was beating some of the top teams. So far, they've only scored 1 goal out of these 5 games that they've played, and they've got 3 draws. This is very shocking. And we're going into this game in game week 6 against a Fulham team who also in game week 5 got a 3-1 victory over Brentford. This is going to be interesting. Looking at Fulham on the Premier League table, Fulham is also now 8th on the Premier League table with 8 points out of 5 games. So I think they've also had a very good start. What would be my prediction for this game coming up in game week 6? I'm predicting Aston Villa to get a draw again against Fulham. My prediction is a 2-2 draw. Aston Villa 2, Fulham 2. Oh yes, moving on to the next game at the St. James Park is between Newcastle United versus Arsenal, the Gunners. This is going to be the game of the week in Premier League game week 6. This is one of the games that I'm looking out for because talking about Arsenal in game week 5 got a 1-1 draw against Manchester City. And Newcastle also got a 0-0 draw against AFC Bournemouth in game week 5. So far, looking at both teams right now, talking about Arsenal, they are now 2nd on the Premier League table with 10 points out of 5 games. About Newcastle United, they are also 13th on the Premier League table with just 6 points out of 5 games. Going into this game in game week 6 at the St. James Park, could Arsenal get a victory over Newcastle United? Probably yes. I think Arsenal has a very decent squad, and I think now Bukayo Saka is back from injury to play some minutes against Manchester City, so he's going to start this game at the St. James Park. What could be my score prediction? I'm predicting this game to end in a 3-1 victory for Arsenal. Arsenal 3, Newcastle United 1. Moving on to last but not the least at Hill Dickinson Stadium is between Everton versus West Ham United. So far so good. Talking about West Ham United, we've played 5 games into the season, and now they are 19th on the Premier League table with just 3 points out of 5 games. It's not good at all for West Ham United with the squad that they have, and now they are 19th on the league table with just 3 points. Going into this game against Everton team, who is also now 10th on the Premier League table with 7 points out of 5 games. I think it's a very okay start with Everton. And going into this game at Hill Dickinson Stadium, what could be my score prediction? Well, I'm predicting Everton to get victory over West Ham United because I think Everton have a very decent squad, and Jack Grealish this season has been a phenomenal player for Everton. Despite it didn't work for him at Manchester City, Everton is helping him to revive his career. What is my score prediction? I'm predicting this game to end in 2-1 victory for Everton. Everton to West Ham United 1. Yeah, so this has been my predictions for Premier League game week 6. My name is Andy Fina. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel, watching this video to this point. Like this video, comment your thoughts and your predictions at the comment section. Till we meet in another video, bye bye for now.